We've got our beautiful giraffes. A couple of them sitting together, feeding. At the moment, they're just keeping an eye on us. Not quite sure what we are, if we're predators or friendly. They'll keep an eye on us, make sure we're not too much of a danger. They'll generally carry on.
Hi, my name is Morty Ortega. Hold on a second, let me get this out. We are in the pandemic, but I'm not in South Africa, so we'll keep this somewhere else. And we're going to be talking today about the African field ecology. My name is Morty Ortega. I am a professor, associate professor, wildlife ecologist in the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment. This course started a long time ago. I think it might be in 2001 when I was offered a trip to South Africa. And we started talking about the possibility of doing a trip that was going to really bring into students into the place and learn about South Africa as a whole, but also the possibility of them to learn more about animals and the environment as a whole. The main idea in here on this trip is that we created the course. And the course was became to be a general education course. We set it up into the group 4, the content area 4, which is the diversity and multiculturalism, and also in the part that is international. So the main idea in here is that you will learn a lot about different things. And let me tell you a little bit about the course per se, how this develops. You will take a course in the spring, and in the spring you're going to learn a lot about South Africa as a whole, and then you're going to learn about things related to the social, economical, political aspect of South Africa as a whole, and then you will make some sense out of that. And then in the month of May or August, it depends in the group that you're going to be traveling. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the travel later on. But then we'll go do a trip for about 3 weeks. The question always is how this course can really help me out and in which ways. So in here you can think about first in your career path, how this course can really help you out in your career path. As a matter of fact, you need to think about how any course that will be into education abroad is going to help you. If you have never been outside of Connecticut, perhaps out of New England, perhaps out of the USA, one of the things that you're going to find out is that you have a really very comfortable area. In a way, it's your comfort zone. And what we'll do is that, think about from this point of view. Here's your comfort zone, and you're pretty happy about it. What we'll do is that education abroad program, if it takes you to Europe, is going to go this way. If you are going to go to the moon, pretty much you're going to be way over here. But when we go to Africa, the comfort zone is going to be moved quite a bit. And it might be all the way over here. Not as close as to the moon, but it will be moved. And that is going to produce a very different way of you, the way that you think about things. So let's start from there. How is going to help you into your career per se? Well, that's a different story, because it will depend on the career that you're in. If you're into the biological areas, if you're into natural resources, the environment is going to be really easy to see that, because you're going to be in contact with animals, you're going to be in contact with the environment, you're going to be spending quite a bit of time into that. However, if you are in other areas, let's say, for example, fine arts, all of a sudden you're finding yourself that a lion you're looking at it looks extremely different to what you have seen in the pictures, extremely different to what you see in the cartoons. And that is going to bring you a very different perspective. How about if you are into, let's say, education? You're going to start thinking on how you can bring this type of knowledge into the future, into your future, how you can educate people about this sort of thing. How about if you are in business? Because as I mentioned to you, it's a general ed course, so anybody from the university will be able to take it. So in reality, it can be applied to everything. If you're in business, you might be thinking, this is a great place to figure out how you can start businesses in here, how the models of business can apply there. So there is a lot of different things from that point of view. Now, how about if you are in political science? Well, you will learn a lot about South Africa. You will learn about the history of South Africa. You will learn about how a very large majority and number of people were managed for many years by a minority, and not in the best ways. And you're going to learn, it's going to hurt when you learn throughout the spring semester. Now, one of the things is how will this impact you in the long run? Well, I could tell you a lot of things, but there's nothing better than testimonial from some few students, and we do have some testimonials.
Hello, my name is Morgan Kite, and I took South African Field Ecology May of 2017. Safe to say, it changed my entire life. I came back and co-founded Operation Rhino, an organization on campus which you should join, that is dedicated to raising money for the rhino orphanage in South Africa and raising awareness about the poaching crisis. And I am also now a nature guide right here in Connecticut. Hi, yeah, I'm the head guide for Slipaway River Tours now, so I saw the guides in South Africa and I felt like the love of nature that Morty and everyone else had there, and it honestly instilled a whole new part of me that I didn't even know was there. So I'm really thankful that I went on the trip and that I met the people I met there. I met some of my best friends and some of my favorite people in South Africa. So thank you so much to Morty, and everyone who's watching this video should absolutely go and stay at Entebeni and be the best you that you can be, because it's going to be awesome, I promise, and enjoy it. Also, I just want to say that if you're not in natural resources, that's totally fine. I'm a human rights major, and I was a psychology major when I went to South Africa. So don't feel like this is just for people in like conservation or natural resources, because honestly, it's good for everybody. It's good for life. It's good for the world.
Hi, I'm Sam Prusak. I graduated from UConn in the spring of 2018, and I took the African Field Ecology course in the spring of 2016, and actually went abroad in the summer of 2016. Then the following year, in 2017, I did some research on the giraffe population at the reserve, which was ultra amazing. I've always wanted to be a vet, but going to South Africa kind of changed my views on what I wanted to do in vet medicine, and put my focus a little bit more towards conservation medicine. So when I was applying to vet schools, I took into consideration who had opportunities to go international and to study conservation medicine. So going to Africa, where at UConn at African Field Ecology, really changed my career goals, and now I am a student at vet school and hoping to, at some point in my career, go back to Africa and work with wildlife.
Hello everyone, my name is Tess. I graduated UConn in December of 2018 with 2 bachelors of science, one in natural resources, one in animal science, and I attended the UConn African Field Ecology study abroad in May of 2017. It wasn't until I went to South Africa with Morty that I realized I needed to incorporate this experience into my career. I needed to go abroad with students and teach them the importance of conservation on the ground where it's actively happening. So not only did South Africa help me decide what I wanted to do with my career, which is get involved with education abroad, specifically environmental education abroad, but it gave me an incredible life experience that I would not have had any other way.
You learn about biology, animal behavior, geology, politics, culture, and not only do you learn about it, but you see it up close and personal. You see everything play out in real life. If you're a student at UConn, no matter what major you are, you need to go on this trip. You will thank yourself. Hear me? Do it.
Now, the other thing about it is that I started traveling at a very early age, and that made a big impact on me, to the point that you get hit by the bug. You get, it's something that you really want to go out. During this pandemic has been horrible for me because I have been practically 6 months without traveling anywhere, and it makes a big difference. And I can tell you that many students are in the same boat because they have traveled overseas and they want to know more about the world. And that is one of those things that is really important. When you go there, one of the things that you're going to see is that the people are going to be very similar to us in so many different ways, to the point that you're going to be thinking, okay, this is really cool. The people are very similar to me in many ways, but they do live in a very different way. Will that affect you in any way or matter? To tell you the truth is something that you just don't need to worry about it. At the moment, you are going to see them laughing. At the moment, you are going to hear about some of the suffering in there. But in the long run, the people are going to be very similar to you and me. And that's the great thing about it. So the trip will teach you things about physical things. The trip is going to teach you things about the people. The trip is going to make you grow in many different ways. So study abroad, education abroad programs are really good for that. So one of the things that is really important and you really need to put attention to is how we really do this. So I mentioned to you that in the spring we're going to have classes, and right now it seems that we're going to go an online course, which is going to be fine because we ended up doing that last time. What we are going to do when we travel there, they're going to be waiting for us. And I can tell you, well, why don't I let the people from there tell you about it?
Hello everyone, we want to welcome you back here at Honeyguide Ranger Camp. In this video, we will be showing you the new protocols with the pandemics that is upon us. So guys, I will be wearing my mask, and first thing first, you will have to sanitize your hands. After sanitizing your hand, we will move to your bag and then hand it over to our porters. Our porters will sanitize the bag. The bag part is done. Now we're gonna move to reception and then check you in. So straight after sanitizing your hand, then we'll move to taking your temperature, of which we will have to fill in onto this form that has been supplied to us by Tourism Business Council of South Africa. So as you can see over our counter already, we've put some shield, so there will be a little bit of limitation between you and the receptionist that will be here. Here by our breakfast, as we all knew that we had the buffet area, so with the safety protocols that has been put by the government, unfortunately we had to take away the buffet area. So you will be working directly with our executive chef, who is Sylvia. So you will come from your table, and then you will place an order with her, and then she will prepare your order, and then you will take your order, and then you'll be seated by a table. So as you can see, your bag has actually been left on your doorstep. So we have that limitation of people going in and out of your room. Also have the sanitizer in your room, of which you can use at any time. We can't wait to have you here, guys.
They are prepared for the pandemic. They are waiting for us. And in there, what we're going to do is, you saw the food, you saw the beds, you saw the living accommodations, and it's going to be very difficult. We always talk about that we're going camping, but camping is something that is a little different. The type that we're doing there, glamping sounds more like a glamorous camping. The food is going to be fantastic all the time. It's no problem. If you are a carnivore, perfect. There's going to be plenty of meat for you. If you are an herbivore, you eat vegetarian, you're going to have plenty of different dishes that are fantastic for you. If you are a vegan, you will probably want to just figure out how you can steal one of the chefs and bring them over so you can have those great meals. So in a sense, that is going to be the way. Now, there is one critical thing that I ask the students to do, and it's kind of a requirement for the courses, and I have been doing this for many years. You will be completely cut out the grid. In other words, you are not going to have any communication with the exterior. Boom, gone. So people in here are going to get worried, but they can contact me, so it's not a problem. And I will tell them that you're doing fine. The idea of cutting you from the grid, and students will tell you about that, is so important because that's the only way that you can really immerse in this new environment that you're visiting. And you can really appreciate the large things, the roaring of the lions, the big elephants that walk around. But also you can appreciate the little things. When you're falling asleep and you can hear those sounds in there. Or when you are putting attention instead of, and you're looking at a giraffe, instead of trying to put attention to your phone. That is the type of thing that we're going to be, and you're going to be enjoying. When we get there, and you see that welcome that we're going to have, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to see, as I mentioned, a few animals in the giraffes, wildebeest. And the way that we do it is because we take every day, we're going to be for about 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon, evening, taking a trip and doing a safari. But don't think that it's going to be a regular safari in which you're going to see the animals for 2 minutes and then you're going to take off and move on. No. And there we're going to start, and you will perhaps be surprised that the first day we're going to be going around for about a mile and a half from the camp, and that's all that we're going to do. But in that place, in that little space we're going in that very short distance, what you're going to see is going to be several things. Perhaps you're going to see the wildebeest. Perhaps you're going to see the zebras. Perhaps you're going to see termites. And we're going to spend time learning about the termites, how their society works, how their building system works, how they have the proper air conditioner, how probably they're not going to be affected from climate change as we are. So this is the part that you learn things from there. We're going to also interact with the locals quite a bit. There's several instructors in there that they really are very, very helpful, and they have a lot of well, let me tell you, why don't I show you at least one or two people telling you a little bit about the way that they teach.
How's it, everyone? At the moment, looking at a bit of track and sign, especially some dung. So over here, you can see the nice little sausage shape dung that actually belongs to porcupine. Now, most of your dung, your herbivore dungs, you can pick up, crush it, see what's inside. When it comes to animals like this, porcupines or carnivores, you don't really want to pick them up, just in case there's a lot of bacteria and things like that from what they eat. Generally, your porcupines will eat bark. they'll go to a tree, dig it up, and eat that bark and roots of your tree, which is why it's also a nice reddish color due to the tannins. So obviously walk through here, and as you came across, you actually walk through over this rock. They tend to not really find spots, but as they come over a little hump, they'll actually scent mark this nice little dark part over here. I'll cross over, scent mark, and carry on walking, looking for food.
Right guys, as you can see behind me, we found a few giraffe feeding peacefully on the leaves of the tree. Now we are on a plateau here, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the ecology. Down here you get a lot of very nutritious grasses and very nutritious trees with nice nutritious leaves, and that's because of the nutritious soil which is found at the bottom. Now because we're in a mountainous area that's composed primarily of sedimentary rock, the sand around here is very the soil around here is very sandy, especially closer towards the top of the mountains. But as you come lower down, finer silt and clay has managed to be deposited down here through eons of erosion and so on. And so the animals which you find down here in their densities, both browsers and grazers, are very high, which results in more predators being found.
If you have any questions about this trip, there's a lot of different ways to communicate with me, and there's going to be at the end of this tape, you're going to see my address, my email, and you can contact me at any time. But in any case, it's morty.ortega at uconn.edu. So with that, I hope that you can join me. I know that you're desperate to go to Africa. I know that this is a unique opportunity, not because I tell you, it's because about over 500 students that have taken this course know that. All right. I hope that you join the course, and I hope to see you in South Africa.